Long live Ghana, man. Long live the baby, man.
One time. So come go to Jenny Mumpire. So come for we are fire. I'm ready, ever to you. Ghana, ready, ever to you. Let me free Ghana. The man Penny, what you can know your friend on the Frank Numa. Hear me, sign up when my dear number your mama. I send back to baby, and I'm saying, I am in one. Here, on no Naji fan who dear, get Naraya Sassin here. I have what they did my Mojana, and we are going to hold my head. Room in never to say, baby, at once. So, can I dear baby? And then you can into young physical tons of and from them frame come now and to Jomon come for you say a kind of no there be so did video some you know did Ghana city be a baby and not to any greedy average and committee baby and I will go to Korea and Kobe in the video when I was so young. Rene see my back and the players and could take and so woke up parliament I can't go and just say I want to make a power man for Jankan Koya Bawa and say Master Bibi a woman can go shop some tower and yes I not put power when I want to try a bank.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Ghanaian Nkrumah and you're watching Diaspora Network Television. Today we're going to have a special fusion of diaspora reintegration to Africa and the role of traditional leaders. So a fusion of diaspora and traditional leadership. And I have the perfect person who embodies both here with me in the studio. And so strap on your seatbelt. We'll come back to it. It's going to be a very, very interesting, very revealing conversation. But as usual, before you meet my guests, we have to go to the jungle. Stay tuned for the jungle. In today's jungle, I want to touch on some item that's been making the rounds in the news. Ghana has dropped 30 places on the World Press Freedom Index. And as expected, critics have gone to town with it and talking about how we're clamping down, Ghana is clamping down on freedom of speech and everything. But when it comes to the jungle, we always have to look at a 360 look about this whole issue. As you know, with the advent of social media came with a lot of conspiracy theories, misinformation, and disinformation. And sometimes people just flat out cross the line and outright lie. In addition to the lie, they even incite violence. You don't need to look far. Look at the United States. The beacon of democracy is right now on the verge of coming undone because some people are hiding behind freedom of speech, spreading false information, inciting violence, all in the name of free speech. So if you're a leader and you are confronted with this, what do? Do you just allow unfettered freedom of speech, or you put some controls on it? Now, we're not talking about Russia type of censorship. Well, if you say the wrong word, you go to jail or we kill you. But confronted with today's phenomenon of misinformation, incitement of violence, and all those stuff, if you find yourself in national leadership, what would you do? Would you allow still unfettered freedom of speech and allow your opposition to use that, abuse that, and potentially lie his way to replace you? And at this point, I'm not even talking about party, whichever party that finds itself in power. The opposition, we've seen the NPP, let's face it, we've seen the NPP come up with pictures about Muhammad's building in Dubai and all that, whether that was true or not, but it impacts voters, whether they're true or not. And now that the MPP is in power, of course, the opposition is also going to do the same thing. So at the end of the day, if you're confronted with misinformation, disinformation, which until now was okay, was at the mild level, but it has come to the point where it is inciting people, misleading people, because nobody reads anymore. They look at videos edited. What would you do as a leader? I don't know. But could this be that when you put controls on media and people, even that blows that one too out of proportion? For example, if I sit here and I say Nana Akufo-Addo has done ABC and it's not true, well, they have the courts, they can take me to court and prosecute me civilly for defamation of character. But if the statement that I made has the potential of inciting violence, that's where it crosses over to the criminal realm, at which point the national security might pick me up. It happened under all four governments in the Fourth Republic. And so I want us to look at the nation, I mean, United States, Ghana, the rest of the world. We are at a crossroads. Should we allow unfettered freedom of speech and allow those who want to abuse it, or do we want to place some controls over those and risk being blown out of proportion that we're now jailing journalists? It's a question that we all have to ask. But at today's jungle, I wanted to bring those two sides so that you make your own decision. This is the jungle. Stay tuned for my guests. We'll be right back.
It's okay. Go. Let me speak to my people. Now, let me speak to you. I know the stress people go through when they want to send money from abroad to their family members and loved ones in Ghana and even in Africa. See, if you are in the USA, if you are in London, UK, Canada, Europe, any part of the world, see, Tap Send has made it very easy. All you have to do is to tap and send. Within a twinkle of an eye, your money will be sent with no stress. It's very fast, convenient, and easy to access everywhere. What are you waiting for? Just tap, and send. Download Tap Send now on Google Play and App Store. Tap Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to talk about diaspora, both traditional diaspora and the historical diaspora, and their fusion into traditional leadership in Ghana. And who best to have this conversation with than the one who embodies both. Please help me welcome Nana Berima Kojo Techi Abiam. Nana, welcome.
Thank you.
You know, Nana, I'm telling you, the last time I had a schmuck on was 1977. That's 45 years ago. And only you can make me put on a schmuck. When you came in a schmuck, I had to match
Definitely.
you. Boot by boot. Nana, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing
I'm
today?
fine, and you?
Very good, very good.
Great.
I brought you here mainly because of a statement you made at the high-level Diaspora Forum at Kempinski.
Yeah.
It really touched a nerve.
Yeah.
And so I wanted us to expand on that. But before then, we're here, we're not in the business of reading long profile. We just give you the microphone and tell us who you are. How did you get from to where you are now?
Well, before I commence on anything about me, let me state that I felt a bit scared when you said you got a very perfect person. I don't know how perfect I am, but then humbly I would say that viewers After the program, we'll get to know whether I am indeed perfect or not.
That's
because I don't know what I have.
That's good.
And then what
That's
will
good.
convince people per what I put out.
Absolutely.
So I got a bit scared, humbly, just not to also
problem.
feel so big and that I'm
But
perfect.
the truth of the matter is you embody both. You are a diasporan and you are a crowned traditional leader.
Anyway.
Okay. So
we'll see what
we'll
pans
see how it
out.
goes.
Yes. I am an Ashanti from Ofinso Mpabame, where right now I've been the chief of my hometown for the past 22 years.
Okay.
Going back, my father is a Fanti, and as I said, my mother is an Ashanti coming from Ofinso. And so, but I was born in Brafo, grew up basically in Kintampo, Wenchi, Techiman, and then that is in my elementary schools, that would put it. And then I went to Bibiman Secondary School, Kwadasu Kumasi, went to KNUST briefly, and then move on to UK, and I attended London University. I'm a product of London University.
Okay.
And then came back to Ghana. You know, I'm somebody who really likes fufu and traditional foods. So I'm not too enthused in staying outside. My main motive is that I went out just to learn knowledge, then impact myself, equip myself academically, and then came out just to stay, eat my fufu whilst I serve my country.
But Nana, you can get fufu in London.
I'm sorry, you can't get fufu. It is the other one that you get. But you see, as Amachi the day will put it, that is your picture, but it is not real you.
Oh, wow.
So
what's the difference? So in London, they don't, London is close enough.
Yes, we have the African market, everything that you have there, but trust me, Ghana indeed is a place where if you really love your food and love your body, you can't get it outside as the way it is.
Let me get the clarification. Even as far as United States,
Yes.
they are able to send wadro
Yes.
and warmer there.
Yes.
Which for the rest of you, for piston and mortar, right?
It is true.
Okay. So London, I'm sure they actually
We
found
have.
the real fufu.
We have, yes.
So what's the difference
Yes.
between that fufu and the one in Ghana?
There is. There is, seriously. There is.
Wait,
but then,
if I get plantain, boil my cassava, and I put it in a butter and pound it here in Ghana, and I do the same in London, you're telling me there's a difference?
there's difference.
Hey,
Home
I
sweet
want
home.
To hear, I want to hear.
Home sweet home. I'm a traditionalist.
Okay.
So I have to promote what we have as indigens. Yes, I will never promote any fufu outside Ghana and say that is the best or good.
But that fufu is prepared by
but
Ghanaians.
You are Obibeka said, "Oh, Aquantium." So don't enjoy so much what you have in Aquantium, and come home and eat what is at home. I hope you see where I'm coming from.
I get it.
Yes, nobody directs his home with the left hand.
That's right.
Traditionally, so I'm promoting Ghana and our fufu, so that those over there, diaspora, will come home and enjoy home fufu.
The home version of fufu.
Definitely. So there's nothing to compare with.
Do you eat with your fingers or with?
This is, you know, let me spell the reason why spoon, the word spoon came. S-P-O-O-N. So I have the natural spoon.
S-P-O-O-N.
Is it not spoon? You see, so I have the natural.
Like I didn't
you didn't know. So I'm just telling you, that is why you say you got the perfect person. Maybe I may prove whether I am or not. This is an on-spot interview you are giving me. I'm just telling you that I have the natural spoon, not the artificial one.
Wow.
So that's my spoon. And traditionally, you have to eat with this natural and you know how the sizes and everything, what goes into the mouth. And that's why you feed your soul.
Okay. So this spoon
yes,
versus the Western spoon, which one can scoop more soup?
This hand you see can scoop enough soup that will enter your mouth for you to.
More than the one?
No, definitely.
You learn something new every day. Okay, so
yes,
you came back.
Yes. Yes, to continue.
I know you're joking about the fufu, but there's got to be something else that...
Definitely, definitely. This is to entice people
Right.
over there to realize that home sweet home. When you are home, there are so many benefits.
Yeah.
Regardless what you get over there,
Yeah.
home is home.
So does that mean when you were there, your diet was, what was your main diet while you were in London?
You see, I am somebody who can, in life, there's one thing I want to tell everybody watching me, to have a simple understanding is that just always be on standby to readjust.
Okay.
Do you get my point? Readjust. Once you are in Ghana, your lifestyle will be like that you are in Ghana. When you travel offshore, then you adjust yourself so that you don't get worried.
Right.
You see?
So you got into the spaghetti.
Yes, so you adjust yourself to whatever, because I know there is time for everything, and at a particular time, I will come over.
So on any given week while you were in London, how many times did you eat traditional food?
I won't be able to say it, but I say anything goes, because that time my main purpose was to learn, and after that I'll come home.
Okay, very good.
It wasn't under any bad circumstance that brought me home, but I decided after everything I'll come home, and I come home since '98, and I've been in Ghana helping my country in diverse ways.
Okay, and you were home. You came home before, then you went back, right? Tell us
That's what I do. Basically, because sometimes I wasn't well settled. So you come, you go, you come, you go, you come. But this time around, I'm fully settled.
So during that time, you were testing the waters.
That is it. That is it.
Okay, very good. All right. And so family matters?
Yes. I am humbly and proud to say that as at now, I am married 4 wives and then 18 children.
4 wives, 18 children.
According to my wives, those children are mine.
And you still look energetic.
Well, because medically, I really feel comfortable, and I have it in my mind that if I want to live long, then it should be in good health.
Okay.
And therefore, I'm very particular on what I drink and what I eat.
Yeah. Somebody told me there was a funny video that was going around where some people were insinuating that you marry 1 wife, you live shorter, but you marry multiple wives, you live longer. What's your position on that?
I wouldn't want to affirm that, but this is what I'll put across.
Okay.
You know, life entails a lot, and life entails everything. What may be good for me cannot definitely be good for you. So it's about the individual. How did I go about 4 wives, and have I been able to handle them? Am I in peace, or I am in hell?
You look in peace to
Yes, and I am saying it here on television that I don't have any problem.
Okay.
My school wife, I've married my school wife for 22 years now. That's immediately 20 years now. Yes, 2 years after.
So you were married before you became a chief?
Yes, I have my older wife that we've married for about 35 years now.
Okay. So you were in London with her?
No, here. You know, it's all about, first point, recognizing your wife as a human being. That's the first point. When you recognize her as a human being, then do to her as you expect her to do to you. There are certain things that she may not know, but you don't tackle it with anger and try to sort of abuse her. Find a way of correcting, and you can't force to correct her to know everything instantly. It's a process, because marriage is like 2 waters or rivers coming together. She has where she came from, and upbringing, and I have mine. And therefore, once you come together, there's a meeting point. So there should be some kind of knowing me, knowing you there, and then gradually you become one and you flow. You see the point?
Nana, as an interviewer, I can't let this go. I have to pick on a statement you just made.
Yes.
Do unto her what you'd want done unto you.
Yes.
That sounds like a quid pro quo type thing.
Yes.
So the begging question then now would be, you having 4 wives, what if she wants multiple husbands?
Oh, our tradition does not allow a woman in Ghana to have any other husband. That's our tradition.
Okay.
And therefore, I wouldn't want us to even bother or
to
ourselves to talk about it,
challenge
because
that.
it cannot change.
Okay.
And there's nothing, no law can change it.
And
therefore, what I know is that I don't look down on them just because I want to have another wife. If you want to have another wife, as I've done, transparency. Even you may be transparent, she may not believe it, but action speaks.
Okay.
That's one thing. Tolerance.
Okay.
Respect. Mutual understanding.
Okay.
Always try to be there and then listen to her suggestions.
Okay.
You can't do without your wife.
Okay.
As the adage goes and says that behind every successful person or man is a woman. So, my wife counts so much in my life.
Very good. Before we go on a quick break, in the next 1 minute, you had your wife, you've been married for 35 years, and then you had a stool wife.
Yeah.
That made number 2.
Yes.
So what prompted number 3 and 4?
Yes. I realized that, let me put it this way, my stool wife and my elder wife are all illiterates.
Okay.
They never attended school.
Okay.
And then when I attempted to cause them to improve their lives academically, they declined.
Okay.
And so when I am moving on, sometimes I need a woman who is a bit, yes. So that brought in so that that wife can really help me. Unfortunately, that wife who came into my life in 2000 as well endowed and then passed on 4 years ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay.
She was like a soldier.
Okay.
She was my everything. We migrated from Kumasi in 2006 to Accra, and just 2018, she passed on.
Sorry to hear
and
that.
then, very painfully, she passed on the eve of my birthday.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. All right.
Passed on nothing was wrong with it. It was a Sunday that she attended church and was singing ahead of the pastor to preach. And then all of a sudden, according to the information that got me, she started going down, and then she was 48 years, and I think it was due to heart failure.
Oh, okay.
And so she passed on just like that.
All right, my condol
In any
that.
case, yes, life must go on.
Absolutely.
And so the current one that I have with me is a nurse.
Okay.
Who is also assisting me medically.
So you have 3 wives.
So now, I always want to mention her, even though she's no more.
Okay.
But I always want to mention her because she's done her bit.
Absolutely.
So that's how it is.
On that note, we will go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll delve into the profession and on our way to showing you why Nana Abiem embodies both tradition and the diaspora. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? You gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized, feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hello and welcome back to our continuing conversation with Nana Berima Kojo Techi Abiem. Also a medical doctor. Is that fair?
Yes,
Medical doctor?
yes.
Good. So you went to KNUST, and then you went to London Medical School. Why medical school?
You know, as I always say, that life entails a lot. And I indicated that in life you must be ready to cause a change and then readjust yourself. That is very important.
Right.
Because most of the time, it depends on where you are the circumstance, the situation, then you grab it. You know, I was just sent there to do something, and then I met a white lady who saw me according to the way she said, I think you can be a doctor. That's what she said. I don't know what she saw in me.
Okay.
And this is an opportunity for you. Otherwise, I'm a more technical person. I'm a more technical person. I can do so many things.
You're multifaceted. You
yes,
play piano.
Yes. And so the opportunity came, and then when I came down, in fact, she was working with Peace Corps.
Okay.
American Peace Corps.
Peace Corps.
Yes.
And you met her in London?
So, no, in Ghana. When I was with the Catholic Mission, the Catholic Church, Lady of Fatima Catholic Church in Wenchin Brunafo.
Okay.
So when he arrived, I was detailed to go fetch her from the airport.
Okay.
So when I was driving with her, and he was also interviewing me, who are you, what do you do? And he said, you drive well and you speak good English. And then when we came, you know, immediately you get out of the plane, it's like the weather, you fall. So I tried to naturally give her some treatment. I said, so with this, do you know, how did you come back?
This was here in Ghana?
This was here in Ghana.
Okay.
So that's why I said, I think you have the opportunity. When I go back, I will ensure. So when she was going for holidays, she went with me.
Okay.
And that's where it all started.
But the Peace Corps are Americans.
Yes. But then we went to London on an occasion, on a program.
Okay.
And that's where I went and played the organ, and then I gave them some natural herbs to take, which is very good for us. And then you should empower yourself professionally.
Okay.
You see.
So you, as a medical doctor, and you say you've also trained as a herbalist, more or less.
Yes.
Which
I did alternative
medicine.
Yes. In actual fact, I have benefited a lot because you remember in 2006, TV3 introduced a program called Health Matters.
Okay.
And because I have already done alternative medicine, it really helped the program. Okay. You see the point? It really helped. And so many people for now in Ghana, if anybody is practicing alternative medicine or herbal medicine or whatever, I would say I'm the pioneer practitioner. So, and it has helped many people because now everybody believes in natural medication and everything.
And it came to...
And that has helped me to look what I look.
Yeah. It came to light during COVID.
Yes, yes.
I mean...
Many people were struggling how to, you know, keep themselves out of any attack. And then herbal medicine helped a lot. You see?
Why are we not leveraging this to make a lot of money?
As a country. It's going on right now.
I'm talking about exports.
Yes. If you go to KNUST, we have a herbal department that are training herbal doctors, and they've been, you know, distributed to some identified hospitals.
But what about exports? To really cash in on?
Yes, export has been with us quite a long time. Just that maybe you may not know, or it will not appear on television for people to know that people are exporting. Otherwise, people come to Ghana for anything that they want in this world. They come to Ghana and they get it.
Nana, don't even say come to Ghana. Right now, prekese in African shops in United States. White people walk into African shops to buy prekese.
Yes.
And so my thing, and then neem leaves. I remember when I was I was transiting in Brussels, and the moment I was talking to a couple of the attendants, Brussels airline, the moment I mentioned neem leaf, they just dropped everything.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that. See, so we have the opportunity.
Definitely.
Why aren't we packaging it to send abroad to earn a lot of foreign exchange?
I must say GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Council, I think they are doing their bit. Okay. In the sense that it's like whoever wants something in Ghana, you go there and then you can find most of them on their apps and yes. So it's like across board, I would say that even if I'm not exporting, there are people who are exporting. Example is what you just mentioned. Right. And it's not only prekese. Yeah. it's not only precursor. There are so many herbs that are being exported outside because now they've come to know and realize that the benefits are enormous.
Right.
Is the point? So I think maybe, as you are saying, we should ginger it up.
Yeah,
boost
we
it
need
up
to,
for the
because
export.
right now you have some of us, and I'm not going to try to point fingers, so I'll include myself.
Yeah.
Some of us in the diaspora, when we have an ailment, and we're faced with Western medication, traditional medication, they say, our trust is small.
Yes.
How do we change that mentality?
Now, let me say this, that, for instance, there are certain medicines that have been improved, even though the source came from Ghana or Africa. Now, when you go a place like UK, China, USA, and then Europe, they have remodified and then improved it such that they have packaged it either in pills or capsules.
Who is they?
Yes,
I'm
the
sorry,
manufacturers.
You said they have.
Yes, the manufacturers.
The manufacturers.
Yes.
Are they Western
Yes,
manufacturers?
yes.
Yeah.
They've improved it
Yeah.
such that it remains purely herbal.
Okay.
You see the point? But when they bring it down, you realize that when you compare to how ours are prepared naturally and originally instantly, there is much improvement on the other side.
Right. But that's
Due to the preparation.
Right. That's my thing. That
Yeah.
if it's us, the herbal thing is with us.
Yeah.
But just like you say, it took them, they meaning Western manufacturers and everything, to repackage it.
Yes.
I'm talking about, why can't we package it ourselves?
It's been done. I was going to come there.
Okay.
When you go to Mampone Kwapim, now the Ministry of Health have come to realize that herbal medicine, for that matter, is becoming very essentially important in our daily lives. Therefore, Ministry of Health, for instance, have introduced something we call traditional herb practitioners. We have the traditional doctors. Now they pass through the hands with some of formal initial training in terms of what we call how to prepare the medicines. Their area and Food and Drugs Board, Ghana Standards Board are all into it.
Okay.
So now the way a herbal traditional will say that let's mix 1 gallon of a particular medicine and take it with cap, it's no longer gradually diminishing. It's going down. Now everything is well measured.
So dosage.
Yes, in terms of dosage.
So traditional
yes,
medication
and
now has dosage.
Yes,
Okay.
we have.
Okay.
So it's like, I would say that we've covered about 60+%
Okay.
when it comes to
we
herbal
need
medicine or traditional medicine.
Okay. So the next question is, when you take something like precursor, neem leaves, in its raw form, and you keep it in its raw form, the medical potency, do you diminish it if you try to mass produce it in a factory?
No, yes and no. You see, this is why I was telling you that being in the country and being outside, there's vast difference
Okay.
when it comes to benefits. For instance, if you pluck a precursor right from the tree and then you want to use it instantly, the benefits are different.
Okay.
If it is exported for 24 hours, the benefit may not be
The same.
100%.
Right. Right.
Do you get my point? So here I am talking about if you are inclined to have direct benefits and then 100% of products, then it's like staying outside, you may get, but you may get, let's say, 95% of it or 90% of it,
Yeah.
or even a reduced percentage.
So then what would you recommend? Do we try to keep our traditional medicine in a raw form to get the maximum benefits?
Yes.
Or mass produce it and lose some of that?
Definitely. You see, whatever it is, per the dosage, as I've indicated, if you are supposed to take a particular medicine naturally for, let's say, 21 days or 14 days, if it is in the country, you may get the 14 days potency.
Okay.
But if it's outside, you may go 21 days or 1 month duration.
Okay.
You see the point? Yeah. So I will advocate that maybe the manufacturers who are trying to improve and keep our medicine the way it is, this borders on science.
Okay.
This borders on science.
Okay.
It will interest you to know that there are medicines, even when you are going to take them from the bush, there's a particular time, either during the day, or you don't even have to go to that particular tree with clothes. You have to go naked. And you cannot not even look at the tree and then take it.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
Wait. Okay.
Yes.
Why?
You will die.
Okay.
You don't have to look at it and even take it.
So there's a tree. If
There
I'm
is.
going to pluck the leaves,
You
I
don't have
be-
to go with clothes. You have to go naked.
what if I don't know and I just...
There are some trees, you don't use cutlass or knife to cut it. You cut it, blood will ooze out, and it will seem like you have cut yourself, and you die instantly. We have them in Ghana.
What's the name of it?
I don't want to mention it.
Okay. But so then what happens if I came, a Ghanaian, I'm going through my farm and I'm using knife, a cutlass to clear up.
You see,
I can
this is
walk
why,
into-
that is why traditionally, and now everything is owned up. Before you can go to any bush anywhere, this time around is not the case because we have everything in the bush.
So these things that you're telling me, you've actually seen them happen before?
That is why the forest reserves, the forest reserve, the motion and notion behind the forest reserves borders on this. The scientists have come to realize that we have most of the potential medicines in deep forest. You see the point? There's a particular tree, maybe let me mention, we call it OD. I didn't want to, but OD, for instance. You cannot just get up and go and pick OD aba.
Really? What will
Yes.
happen to you?
I wanted to keep it, but I'm now mentioning it. Go to OD aba, you cannot just go and pick it up.
What will happen to you?
Yes, you have to go through tradition and know the do's and don'ts on that particular OD aba.
Interesting.
You cannot just go and pick it.
So we have all
And then
these.
there's one we call Ohumachem. Let me mention it. Humachem. When you go to the bush, deep forest, Humachem is just there. But those who have the eye to know that this Humachem cannot just simply cut it. That's why you are saying you can just go to the bush and then...
Oh, so
no, you can't.
ignorance is an excuse here.
Yes.
If I don't know, I can cut
Yes.
it, nothing will happen to me.
You see, no, something will happen to you.
But
There is this particular animal we call a four. You know, a four.
for-
If you will hunt a four, then you have to purify yourself, you know, before you can face to kill that particular animal. Because
you don't?
if you don't and you try to shoot at it, you will die. You see,
and you've seen that happen before.
it has happened so many occasions, and they don't just come out for them to be, you know, hunted.
Okay.
That's why
So-
the wildlife also is there to protect those animals.
So this one is going to lead us very nicely into our next segment because
Yes.
we're going to talk about the diaspora coming in. Because somebody like me, born and raised in Kumasi,
Yeah.
I spent 1 year in a village and then I came back. I don't know any of these things. And I compounded my problem by going to live
Sure.
outside for a long period of time. So I come back and I walk into the farm with somebody and I'm using cutlass and I'm cutting. I could be endangering my life.
Yes.
So how do we find these?
Let me show you something. There is this small leaves. You can find it just common in Accra, for instance, you won't find. But when you go to the bush, you will find them. It is there. Immediately you touch it like this, then it closes up.
Wow.
It closes up. Traditionally, that can be used for good and bad things. It is just a tiny leaf. You go there, you
what's
see
the
it.
name of it?
I don't know the name
what does it
in
look
English.
like?
I don't know the name in English, but it's just a tiny leaf. Very common leaf that you just see it.
But when you touch it,
You just touch it and then it will close up. It will close up.
have you seen the movie Avatar?
No. It will close up.
This was in a movie Avatar that you do. There's a movie called Avatar,
No.
the highest grossing movie of all
Okay.
time, made by James Cameron and everything. There is a fusion between humans and the guy walks into the bush and He touches, and then the thing shrinks.
Yes.
And you telling us that's real?
Yes.
I thought it was science fiction.
No. Those documentaries that we see shown on television, I tell you, they are real. They are there. Wow. They are there. You know, people are researchers.
Yeah.
They research and research.
Yeah.
And they come out with this, because some of them, how they behave, you cannot even get it during the day.
Yeah.
You see their behavior during the night.
Okay.
You see?
So why are we not putting these things in the fore? If I had, I mean, I am well into my age right now. If I hadn't, you hadn't told me, I wouldn't know these things. How do we put it out for people to know?
I'm telling you, there are certain trees and there are certain, let me put it that way, that there's no way that tree will allow you to bring it to the core or to the fore for people to know its functions. That's why I'm saying that if you have not built yourself spiritually and have the powers to deal with them, you can never. It has their purposes.
There are those in Ghana today who will say, don't mind that chief.
Oh, that one there's there. I sit
Really?
here before you as a chief for 22 years ago, standing, and I tell you, before I became a chief, there's a chief, old man who is called Kwasinro, who comes from Soko in the Bravo. This man, I was working with Reverend Father Otma, and they were going to the villages to, I was a mass server then, and then this man saw me, and then, Father, I am a magic family. The man has had an eye and saw in me that I am a great person. However, if nothing is done for me, I will not.
How old were you at the time?
I was around 18 years then.
And the father was referring
Father
to
Otma, Father Otma was in the Bravo Catholic Mission.
Okay.
So we went to Nsoko.
So
you know,
he was outside.
we were going out to visit the old people in the house, giving communion. And then that old man was standing in front of his house, and then was just told Father that, let your boy, when you go, let him come back.
So
I went, and then there was this bow that women bath children, babies in it. It was hanging. Nothing was holding it. And this man just did like this.
It was floating in the air.
It was floating in the air, in the kitchen. Then he did like this. Then fire started beneath. And it started boiling. And then did something, and then he brought it down like this. And then what was inside, he was seeing, but I did not see what was inside, just that it was boiling. And then he fetched some, and then just bathed me. Today I'm telling you a secret about me. And then he said, from now on, you may encounter problems here and there, and you are destined to be a great person. You are a chief, you are that. Everything that this man told me, even though he's no more, have come to pass.
And you saw this with your own eyes.
Yes. You see? And then whatever he gave me to eat or to put into my body, they work right now. I sit here. So many things have happened whilst I was in Accra, in my hometown. People plotted against me, and I was able to see. And when there was a time I dreamt whilst I was asleep, and then had a dream that a bird has just taken off and left the 5 babies. It translated into my thinking, and then realized that I was built to be attacked. And I went on Akweside, and then this really happened. It happened live.
What happened?
It happened. I was almost attacked.
By 5 people?
By 5 people. It came just like that. You see the point? And then they buried my picture with a cat, black. I just let people, and then we went there and then removed the Ejinamwa, who was still alive, and then that picture of mine.
They
It happened,
the cat,
yes,
the cat
with my
alive?
picture, in the name of chieftaincy, just to, destroy me, whatever it is. It happened live.
So when they say these chieftaincy, the way people go at each other is
Yes,
real.
chieftaincy, I tell you, for you to survive for how many years, that is why sometimes you become a chief, a stern Christian, but if you are not careful, you will turn into worshiping and indulging in other things. This is my personal life, I'm telling you.
You know
This is the
what?
point.
I'm getting an education today But you know what? This leads us nicely into the next segment
Yes.
where we're now going to bring the diaspora angle in.
Definitely.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tap, tap, and send. It's okay. Go. Over. Let me speak to my people. Now, let me speak to you. I know the stress people go through when they want to send money from abroad to their family members and loved ones in Ghana and even in Africa. See, if you are in the USA, if you are in London, UK, Canada, Europe, any part of the world, see, tap send has made it very easy. All you have to do is to tap and send. Within a twinkle of an eye, your money will be sent with no stress. It's very fast, convenient, and easy to access everywhere. What are you waiting for? Just tap, and send. Download Tap Send now on Google Play and App Store. Tap Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Welcome back. Our continuing conversation with Nana Berima Kojo Techi Abiam. Now, I must say the last segment, if you notice, my jaw was dropped because I learned some things. But now, here's where it gets interesting. At the national high-level diaspora,
Yes.
Which is where we met,
Yes.
you stood up, you were in your chieftaincy regalia and everything, and they gave you the microphone, and you said, these diaspora initiatives, how much are the chiefs involved?
Deeply involved. I
That was
use the word qualified. Deeply involved.
Deeply involved. How deeply should the traditional leaders be involved in the effort to integrate the diaspora into the African setting?
Yes. That's why when you were even saying it now, you didn't bring in the word deeply.
Deeply, okay.
Because that is the underlying word.
The deeply, okay.
Chiefs are automatically involved.
Okay.
But how deep are we? Ghana is a country formed by traditional rulers. Ghana is owned by the indigenes, led by traditional leaders. Is that not it? Mm-hmm. Until we came to understand and then realized that no, to not have any discriminatory way of leading our life, let us have a central government. Otherwise, every community, every indigene have their own way of doing their things. So we have the Akan, the Ashantis, the Kriapims, the Fantis, the Bono, the Ewes, the Guans, the North, the Nzimas, all those that you can mention. They are all in Ghana, and they had their own way of doing things. And things were moving on until we had the central government. You see the point? Whether it has helped us or not, chieftaincy still exists and prevails. Okay. Now, history tells us that those days, many of our brothers and sisters, through colonial rule, were taken away as slaves. Whether they went on their own or they were taken by force in the name of slavery.
They were taken.
Fine. So now it has come to a point where after how many years down the line, most of them have died and gone, yet they had their offsprings. And now they have decided that, come on. You see when I told you that Ifye, Nifye, they are there. Now many Ghanaians who wants to travel outside, wants to go. Those who are there are saying, Ifye, Nifye, and I want to go home. Therefore, am I wrong to say that after going there to acquire knowledge, profession, whatever, I want to come in? So I'm right.
I mean, Nana, that is true. What I'm trying to, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If I'm African American, my ancestors were taken forcibly enslaved in the Western world. And history tells me that it was mostly the traditional leaders who came into this arrangement with white folks. If I'm there and I'm trying to come back to my motherland, The last person I want to deal with is the chief
Why?
who gave me away for me to go and suffer. What do you say to that person?
Yes, you see, that is why we say knowledge is power. If you compare those days, chieftaincy, and you compare current chieftaincy, you realize that there has been a massive and drastic transformation. Now, I would say that 100%, we have about 60% of chiefs being elite, educated. Do you get my point?
Right.
For instance, let me speak for on my own. Our current Otumfo, that's Antehine.
He's a diaspora from UK.
Yes, and then what is his background? This man, I would say, is well educated. And therefore, when he is practicing chieftaincy, he also adds what he has been trained for. Is that not the case? As I speak with you currently, he is in the US, on Memphis.
Playing golf. I saw
yes.
him.
You see the point? And then when he is addressing, he does not speak to people.
Actually, it's not. Let me correct that before they take me. There's a video of him playing golf, but that's not what he went there for.
All right.
He went there as an invitee
to
Memphis by May.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he does not talk to those people over there in Akan, sorry to be translated. He speaks directly English. Is that not it?
Right.
And he's so fluent and has great command in speaking the English.
Okay.
Sometimes I may see he even will speak more, quite better than those indigents.
Right.
Is that not case?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that
So
he
the chief
alone
of today
is
not
not the same chief there.
of yesteryear.
In those days, we will call it Abajimbre.
Okay.
And what is wrong with it? There's nothing wrong.
Meaning, and
Those days,
understand what
they
it
didn't
means.
know anything. You see,
All right.
and there has been a massive transformation.
Okay.
Ghana started experiencing colored TV far back in '85, at the time of late President Rawlings. That's why we have started experiencing colored TV. You see, and then that come down to now that we have internet and mobile, whatever it is. Look at the
there's been
transformation.
A lot of transformation.
That is it.
But
And
now
so,
some will even say that in spite of the transformation, today we have, and I will say that I was told this, and I'm reporting here because I haven't seen that, okay? Chinese will evade our immigrant system, bring their boats, their trawlers off the coast. Our own people will take boats to them, bring them to Cape Coast. They get in a car and they go directly to the villages. That is what I'm reporting. This is being reported.
Yeah.
When they go, they buy land for cheap, and they're not doing anything but engaging in illegal galamsey, messing up the land. These are chiefs doing this.
let me put it this way. I was going to touch on what you are talking about,
Okay.
chiefs.
Okay.
It wasn't all chiefs in the country at that time who led and gave out
The
their
people.
indigents.
Okay. All right.
Now, to correct it, I would say that there are particular chiefs out of ignorance felt what they were doing was right.
Okay.
In any case, I must say that whatever happened that time has turned to be beneficial to us. Otherwise, those now living in the diaspora have so many things to offer Africa, and for that matter, Ghana in particular.
So this is Joseph we're talking about.
Do you get it? Yes.
The biblical Joseph.
Yes. And then nothing can come on a silver platter. Sometimes you may have to sacrifice and suffer certain fate, and out of it, I am not a priest, but history tells us that there's somebody who, according to history, God was angry with human beings, and then God used him to sacrifice and then please himself so that we don't die. I'm referring to Jesus Christ. Is it the case or not? I was not there.
Right.
So that painful death has brought some kind of liberation. But then, I am not talking Christianity here.
Yeah.
I am talking about people who really, whether they were willing or not, were taken away. Let us look at now the vast benefits of them being taken away, and then now when they want to come home.
So
I am looking at the benefits.
That's a very important
The circumstance was
angle.
not too pleasant.
Yes. And nobody intended it for it to
Yes.
be that way. But be that as it may, it has happened. So you're saying that how do we move beyond that and
That
take
is so.
advantage of the benefits that
It's
are
as simple
brought
as
to us?
that.
But okay, so if that's the case, which is I understand, I'm on the same page with you. But do we have to address their pain? And what I mean by their pain is when we come to diaspora, there's the continental diaspora, which is you and I,
Yeah.
born and raised here. We went there and we came back. As for us, fear. But then there's the historical diaspora who were forcibly taken, right? And you are saying that in as much as it was unpleasant, it was based out of ignorance. They went through pain and everything. Now there's a benefit to be reaped, right?
Yeah.
So to those historical diasporans, do we have to address their pain? I think that there's a pain there that we must address.
Let me say this. If pictures that we have been shown to happens to be the truth, did we see any particular chief or indigent beating and then maltreating those who were captured and sent enslaved?
No, we didn't.
According to the videos and history we have, it is those
Who took them?
who took them.
Who maltreated them?
It may be that some of them did not want to go.
Okay.
Then they have to be sort of treated with some hardships, put some fear into them.
Right.
Do you get my point? Maybe the chiefs willingly gave them out,
Not expecting those things
not
to
expecting
happen.
those
Right.
things to happen.
But
But
I'm
then,
saying-
even those things, unfortunate things that has happened, are we going to continue to talk about it? Those who have died and gone, they've died and gone.
Yeah.
We have the offspring
Yeah.
who are now coming home with what better things
Yeah.
that they have
Yeah.
and ready to have transform our society.
I have spoken to many of them,
Yes.
right? In as much as the chiefs or whoever the perpetrators were back then, whose actions led to their forcibly taken away, the fact remains that the historical diasporans, they harbor that fear. And if we're trying to have the chiefs play a role in the diasporan reintegration and everything, I think that is something that we must recognize.
Yes.
We can't just brush it under the.
So let me put it this way. If I ask the question that how deeply are chiefs involved,
Okay.
then it brings back to my point that today's chief is not like those. I am talking to you as an experienced chief,
Right.
and I have the capability of trying to, diffuse the negative thinking and mind and that bad pictures that I'm saying now. That what is the evidence
Okay.
that shows that a particular chief gave and then maimed our brothers and sisters out there?
But we know.
So-
we know our leaders gave them up.
So the history is people were giving out. There were even people who were trading in them. Do you get my point?
Yes.
How about that?
Yes.
So we don't have to look at, because what happened yesterday, to me, it should be a yardstick to measure what will happen today.
Okay.
And then what happens today, it should be the yardstick to measure what will happen tomorrow.
You know what, Nana? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Right.
Pardon me. Right now, Otumfuo is in Memphis
Yes,
as an invitee of the Memphis by May.
sure.
There's a large community in Memphis, a large African American community
Yes.
in Memphis. If you were advising the Otumfuo, in his speech, would you encourage or would you advise him to render an apology, a symbolic apology that the traditional leaders back then were the reason why you had to suffer these things? Would you advise him?
First point, I am not in the position to advise Otumfuo.
Okay.
He's a king embodied with all the wisdom that we know he has. So I can suggest. Do you get my
If
point?
he was listening to you, would you
If he
suggest?
was, I cannot advise Otumfuo,
Yeah, right.
but I can suggest humbly as Nebrimpong,
Right.
as a subject.
Okay.
But for me to indeed say that Otumfuo should apologize, render apology for what?
Okay.
Because I am saying it here, and that is the truth, that what happened yesterday cannot be kept in our minds. First point, if we want to move on, This country, for instance, has suffered a situation where women have been exposed and then caned between their legs. Very bad situation. Can we continue? The only benefit of that is that never again. That's what we have to say. Never again. It came up through a coup. Therefore, if we sit in Ghana and say we want to enjoy a coup, those were the things that happened. We have experienced a situation where our own Ghanaian, a soldier came up, and then our leaders that we never expect were given firing squad. Many people say let the blood flow. We are saying, I am saying as a chief, that if anything at all, many people who said let the blood flow, what has been the benefit?
Okay.
We never benefited. So in the same vein at that particular time, out of ignorance, whether chiefs or subjects around the chief decided and agreed that we are benefiting. We have the history that tells us that it is not only the human beings, but our gold, our treasures, were also taken along.
Nana.
You see the point? Therefore, it will not be pleasant for me to say that Otumfuo should apologize. Otumfuo should rather make a very strong case that what happened those days, now in my time as Otumfuo, never again.
Okay.
And urge whoever is staying there out of pain, thinking that a particular chief or number of chiefs, assisted for them to be there. Now they are alive. Their ancestors have died and gone.
Okay.
The message should be, come home.
Okay. So,
Home sweet home.
now, you, in the beginning of this interview, when you were talking about the wives,
Yes.
you mentioned respect and treating them as you would be treated, right? So let's say you've done something that you recognize that was not right, and your wife is holding on to it. She's upset by it, and she can't see, maybe you have moved forward, but she cannot afford to move forward, right?
Yeah.
And you are saying that, oh, no, I won't do this again, which is the never again thing that you're saying. And if all it took is for you to say, my wife, I'm sorry I did that, for everything to become normal again, is that a difficult word to utter?
No. You see, if indeed you want to be somebody, a great person, then saying or offering apology shouldn't be a difficult thing. But then, trust me, and I'm telling this in authority here, that it doesn't even augur well for you to always be in the mood of apologizing just because you think your wife or whoever will forgive you. It is not too good. Therefore, you ensure that you always ask yourself questions. Give some thoughts, have several thoughts when you are doing something. When you are even speaking, listen to yourself. You listen to yourself before you speak. You see the way you pose the question to me right now and say that, would you advise Otumfuo? I listened to you and I answered you that I don't have that capacity that to advise Otumfuo. But I can suggest, if you want to speak to Onyankopon, you speak through the air. Is that not it? So maybe now Otumfuo will be watching, and then it's been he watched me when I'm on GTV. I know.
Right.
You see the point? I've never faltered by saying anything that will go to injure his position.
Yeah.
So I can suggest humbly.
Okay.
You see the point? So in the same vein that we feel respect,
would you?
Why not? But I will not suggest to Otumfuo, with all due respect, to apologize on what? Painfully, our NDJs who have been taken away by people who maltreated them per what we have. And then what is the need for him to apologize? If anything at all, he could rather take them on. That you took my people,
No,
and that is how they
about
were.
the white, so I'm talking about the black community.
So let me come back to the question about my wife. So if you really know that this is a lovely wife you said into the face, and most of the time it happens, I love you so much. You are beautiful. The very beautiful thing that you are mine, how do you offend it? How do you offend it? But then ignorantly you can offend, do something. But that's why I'm saying that in everything that you do, not necessarily your wives, even the children, whoever you meet outside, make friends. Try to treat the person as if you know the person for how many years. And that has been my lifestyle. You see, transparency is very key.
Okay.
If you want to move on, be transparent. Don't lie, because you lie today, you always have to find ways of trying to maintain the lies. But then one day, truth will come and expose you. So speak the truth now, and how many years down the line you are being posed and put on the spot, you will speak the same truth.
Right. And the reason why I think this conversation took in a different direction because of the way it developed, but it is no doubt that the chiefs have a huge role to play, because after all, they own the lands. And when you come back and you're a diaspora, and when you're coming back, you have to own land, you know, and I mean, you have to deal with the chiefs if you're looking to own land and things like that.
There's a very important, there's a very important input that I want to put in, why chiefs should be deeply involved. And this is what I have to say. Now that people have decided that they want to come home, first point of call, I did mention in my introduction that I come from Offenso in the Ashanti region. That is very important. One, were people taken from the Ashanti region? That's the most important thing. So history will tell you maybe some people were taken from, let's say, Offenso in general. We have so many places and towns and villages in Offenso, and somebody wants to come down. We have to involve the history department of the University of Ghana, KNUST, and other universities that deals with history, so that those people may be introduced to what actually tradition and the names that they know. That, oh, according to my great-grandfather, he did mention that there's a particular grandfather who is called Wiafia Kenten, just to mention. Oh, then history has it that the Wiafia Kentens comes from, let's say, Danjura, or comes from Offenso. Do you get my point? So with that name alone, you get to know that. Then if you want to go to the, then we have to go to Offenso and then ask about the history that is telling how people who have left. Because definitely, for instance, my great-grandfather, who is called Tai Wintin, by our history, comes from Denchra.
Okay.
And then we migrated out because of war and fighting, and then went and settled in Offenso.
Okay.
You see the point? So this history is now telling you that if somebody was also taken from Denchra or whatever it is, then the person will be able to get to know the root.
Right.
You see the point? That's why I'm saying that in any case, we're talking about land. As for land, anybody has the right to go anywhere to acquire land. But when it comes to history where you want to come back and belong, then chiefs have to be deeply involved. We'll be able to tell the story. We'll be able to present what actually transpired those days that we have, that the government may not have it.
Absolutely.
And so that the tourist board will have to bring in chiefs. And now what you are saying, that somebody may have the negative tendency or the mind that, oh, those days it is chiefs who gave us out. Now I'm here to defend and then say that we did not do that. If there's anything particular, who can bring the evidence? I will try to challenge that. Who can bring the evidence that a particular chief maimed and then maltreated anybody who was being transported? You see?
That brings us to an end of this conversation. It's been a very energetic one, but I was very pleased that you brought in some angles that I didn't know before, particularly the trees and the leaves and the tradition. But that's what tradition brings. And for me, having witnessed a group of historical diasporans who came in here at a ceremony where they were given traditional names and they were crying. The traditional piece cannot be ignored when diasporans are coming home. And for that, I thank you, Nana.
Thank you too for having me.
This has been a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah. Thanks for watching.
One time. So come to the Johnny Mumpire. So come for we are fire. Me man penia wodi kanu your friend on Dr. Nkrumah. Me mini say na boni my dear na boy your mama. Asemba coupe bi na mente ya eya me nwanwa. Here ono na je fa hu die. Ye nara ya sasini eya body de ma ye. Moja na no hie gunya de to ha ma ye. Edru me ne wo go say ye be ye bi ato aso.